Oh, you know what? Don't worry, I jacked off in it.
Everything.
Primo cream. All right. Good evening.
Hi.
Really?
No music. We're in cold.
What's music? We don't need it.
What is music here? Welcome
We're
to the
entertaining enough.
I'm really hoping you didn't catch the pre-show sequence.
Yeah, that's really the. Where it's
Forget
at.
that. I'm really hoping that we're actually live right now.
Hope
That's
so
fair.
too.
Man.
Someone tell us.
We're
Check-
short-handed this
Or
week.
check with your phone.
We are. It is calling the Audible with
Is
Peeze, Simone, GM's here. I'm here. Eagle isn't here. He's in. See, Eagle is a little bit confused by geography because
Correct.
he said he was going to Orlando, Florida.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah, as opposed to Orlando, Ohio.
Yeah. He's
You're
in
alive.
Clearwater, Florida. You know what Clearwater is?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
not somewhere near
It's-
Orlando.
It's across from Tampa.
Yeah.
So Eagle does not know he's
But
in Tampa.
they've been moving around though, because he's in the Hogwarts School of Wizardry theme park at the moment.
He went to Universal too, so I'm assuming they're
I had to
driving
throw
around.
that in
This
because
is like his ultimate dream.
yeah,
Like
it's
Nerd Nation, here we come down to the state of Florida.
It's a dream that if people knew about, he would probably be arrested.
I don't know. He still plays Pokemon Go. I don't know which one's worse.
Nerd
Like
Nation.
no, but I'm convinced he's not actually playing Pokemon Go. It's just he's on his phone looking at porn and is telling us he's playing Pokemon Go, so we won't look at his phone, right? Like
He
because none of
walks
us care about Pokemon Go. It's like okay, whatever.
He
you
walks
lose, you get
off
away.
somewhere else.
Yeah,
What did
So-
you catch?
guys, I gotta collect this coin. He's just spanking it in the bathroom.
What did you catch? I don't know.
Not an STD because you can't get it from your own hand.
So GM is taking over the role. GM, how's it been so far?
Panic-inducing, but okay. I think I have most of it down by now.
You're sweating so much.
I'm sweating so much because it's 34 degrees in a shipping container.
I mean,
It is.
I'm pretty comfortable.
I am wearing
I don't know,
shorts.
man. It's hot in here.
Drink the coffee. Raises your body
That's
temperature.
the problem.
I have one question for a GM here. Are we able to make
Oh, we
outgoing
have a write-in comment?
already? Look at that! Within the
Yeah.
first 2 minutes of the show.
So it is from Alex D'Aquila.
Oh yes.
Oh God.
The production value of this show is lacking.
Yeah. Thank you, nerd boy.
Yeah. Thanks, Eagle, for
Go back to your
Okay,
nerd
but here's the
thing.
thing: is what Eagle needs to remember is all anybody cares about is on-air talent, so nobody notices the production.
See, here's the interesting thing.
Stop, baby.
On that note, should we maybe introduce our on-air talent?
I
What did it
We
already?
already did that already.
They know us by now.
I have a question for you, GM. Are we able to make any outgoing calls?
We can try.
Perfect. We'll call Stefano in a bit. All right, John, let's
Freaking
talk about the week that was in week 8 of the FPF World for Division E. What caught your attention this week here, PZ Delarizi?
So I'm gonna start with something that's funny. So it's about my game, but I'm not gonna talk about my game
okay.
because
Okay.
Marc-André was there to scorekeeping, so he'll cover it. But so like we're playing against number 1.
Number one.
Yes.
And so it was actually competitive in the first half. It was like 19-14 for us. It was 14-14 before then. Quarterback was pretty good, and he was finding ways to beat
It
our
was
defense.
19-14, but before that was 14-14.
Yeah,
You scored 5 points.
How does that make sense?
I don't know. It was like it was 2 scores to 2 scores, and then it was 3 scores to 2 scores.
So how about 21-14?
Yeah, it was 19. So it was
20-14.
it was whatever led to 19. It was 14-13,
So,
and then
so
it was
you were down, and then you scored.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the thing is, so my point is that they were super competitive, and then their normal quarterback showed up, and he dropped 2 snaps.
Yee.
So they changed the quarterback who scored every drive so far,
Mm-hmm.
removed him.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in a guy completely out of rhythm, did not look good.
Mm-hmm.
And then check this out, the next drive, they then changed the snapper.
Because why not? When something works for you,
Blame a snapper.
change it.
But then what happened was they got down to the red zone, and there was one snap over the quarterback's head.
It happens.
Then they're still red zone, right, but far away.
Yeah.
Snap over the quarterback's head.
I mean,
Then
The odds of
third down, snap over the quarterback's head. So now it's
I mean-
4th and goal from their own 10.
the odds of that happening are pretty slim.
4th and goal from their own 10.
In the
Still red zone. It's the first time and only time I think I'll ever see that.
So 4th and goal from their own 10. Did they punt the ball
They
away?
punted the ball.
Yeah, of course. I've seen a bad snap from past
I was
midfield.
hoping this story would not end in a run on 4th down.
No. Because it was still red zone. They couldn't.
It would have been the glorious
Um,
moment.
But yeah,
He
so
runs for 40 yards, scores, but can't.
can't. We would let him go too. But yeah, so that was, and then I spoke to David DiPaolo, one of the guys on the team. He's just saying like they just have a big roster and they're trying to get everyone reps, and like maybe you should never switch your snapper. That's the thing.
Yeah,
That's
there's
such an
a-
important
There's
position.
a few positions you can't really switch out.
Yeah.
Snapper, quarterback.
They did both.
And they both in one drive.
Yeah.
The game that caught my attention,
Yes,
which
sir.
I score capped on Tuesday, was Le Amateur de Sac against Los Avocados.
Hey, that was a good game, man.
It was a good game. Sacs played tough. They give Avocados fits and issues throughout the game.
At halftime, we thought there was going to be an upset.
Yeah,
But
well,
give
look,
credit where
it
credit
was
is
a
due.
it was a 1 point lead at certain points of the game here. Then the Avocados pulled away. I don't know if Los Avocados is one of those teams, gentlemen. Maybe you guys can further elaborate on this, but it feels like they play up to competition and they play down to competition. And in this case, they play down to the amateur, the sack,
No.
in the overall context of how this game unfolds for them in the victory.
You know what? I felt like the first half, they were... You know, everybody has like these off nights sometimes. I feel like Los Avocados didn't play well in the first half, and Amateur Sac sort of...
So I mean, you guys were there. Was that the case, or was it that they actually Amateur de Sac played a style of defense that limited the
No.
few
I
things
just
that
thought
Avocados
Avocados
did?
didn't play. They didn't execute their offense as smoothly as
Yeah,
they should have. And
the
defense,
second
you got two
half,
big plays.
It was the same plays, but it was working that time. Like, you know when you make one mistake, and then you just can't get back in your rhythm? Like, your
That
quarterback
the
gets a
case,
sack.
or was it that they
Interesting.
actually
Interesting.
defense
That's what we call
limited-
it.
I have a
Something
beautiful
I just
voice,
thought
but
that
That-
that's what happens
My
when we
God.
change
Execute their
producers.
offense
How-
as smoothly as
Yeah,
they
It's like
should.
changing your
Defense
snap.
Second
is
half.
big plays.
It was the same
See,
plays.
we
but
can
it
hear
it was
the,
working
the-
that time.
the
Like,
live
You know when
stream.
you...
And as we unravel here at the
I
podcast,
love it. He's looking at us. He's like...
Because
Yeah,
I realized he doesn't have
whatever,
a
I'll-
headset, so he doesn't hear what's going on.
Yeah,
Eagle took the headset too, so I realized that the tab wasn't muted.
you have a headset right there if you want, GM, if you wish.
I will say I don't understand how you guys still keep your clothes on when I'm speaking, because I just hearing myself. My God, I have a sexy voice, sultry.
I'm just used to
A
it.
few hard men over here.
Few hard men.
A few hard men over
now we know why.
here. A few hard men over here.
Yeah, you know, like when you're playing quarterback, you take one sack, and then
Yeah.
the following play you sort of struggle to get back into to figure out what works, and then the one play you want to go to doesn't work, and then that felt like the first half for Los Avocados. Like they just made one mistake that they sort of got them out of their funk, and then they just struggled to see what works, and they're realizing we're playing against these guys, and how are we losing right now?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
And then halftime happened, and they were fine.
I look at Visson Deschatel, who had a good game, and they ran the same play with him over and over again, and Los Avocados couldn't stop it. It was a drag over the middle. Up the sideline, he went for like 20 yards or even a touchdown plus 20 yards or more. And again, I just think that for Los Avocados, they're impressive. I like them. They'll be a for sure E1 playoff team, but they can't allow the lesser teams, the inferior competition, to hang around for so long until they pull away in the fourth quarter. Like when they play the E1 playoffs, guys, and play better teams, that can happen because
Well, if that
they'll
happens,
be
they'll
closed
lose.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll lose.
They'll be down by
automatically.
2, maybe 3 scores, and they won't be able to make up.
Agreed.
Make up.
Agreed, and that's why I wasn't disheartened by their performance, but it gave me a little bit of concern in the back of my mind that look,
Yeah,
needs to be a little bit more.
yeah, but if this is their off week and it
an
happens
execution.
now, right? It's better off.
You would
that
hope,
way.
right? But you just don't know, right? We'll talk about funks in the higher divisions here, but you don't want this to like linger around, gentlemen.
We'll see. I think we'll see how they bounce back next week. If they have if they score 45 next week, then
What else caught your attention, gentlemen?
I was there for Clinkers versus Grinders.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm impressed with the athleticism on Grinders.
Let me ask you. Regarding looking at the score 25-20 for Clinkers. Who? It's a testament to who? Like who played? Is it Clinkers that weren't? They should have. Clinkers should have beat them by more points. Is what I'm saying.
mhm.
So the fact that this was close, is this a testament that Grinders are a better team
I
than
don't
we
think-
expect them
I
to
don't
be?
think Clinkers would have beat them by more, just because, like, of the 3 scores that Grinders put up, 2 of them were on defense. So if you see that Marc-André Desaulniers threw 4 touchdowns and had 2 pick sixes, like, how many drives do you think you would have had? Like 7 in a game?
Yeah.
Perhaps,
So,
yeah.
so like,
The game came down to the last play too.
yeah, and you know what? They like so Clinkers hung on, but Grinders did a lot in terms of like in key spurts. Like so, the biggest problem is they can't finish a drive. Benjamin Reed has guys open, and he'll make a good read, and I was like, oh my God, you watch one down, like perfect. These guys
Actually,
organized,
it's-
smart,
I
whatever.
find it's the other way around. He makes the perfect throw
Mhm.
to one guy, but he can't read.
Or
who's
whatever. I'm
open.
just saying, like the plays will work 2 or 3 plays in a row, and then like the next set of downs, it falls apart, punt, or falls apart, turnover and downs. And it's like maybe it's that. Maybe it's that he's not reading. So if he calls a play that just so happens to beat that defense, and his main read is open because that just happens, and so he just got lucky in a sense.
That's sort of how it feels. He throws a really nice ball. And he's a good quarterback, but he's not reading the field properly. So when the option that he believes should be open is not, that's when we start to see grinders sort of unravel a little bit.
I think it's more of a confidence with him, because he plays with Browns of Boucherville as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sort of a streak quarterback. Like he could string together like 4 or 5 in a row and be like, wow, that's amazing. But then you're right, Simone. He'll have some god-awful throws, be like, what the hell is he doing in Division E? He should be a Division G quarterback at some points.
But
G League.
But when you see him play, you do feel like there's a lot of potential there. Like
he has potential for sure. I agree.
So at the start of the season, I was thinking Marc-André Desaulniers would be like in the running for quarterback of the year. But now, if you look at his last 3 games, Tropic Thunder, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 64% completions, fine. But next game versus the Ducks, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, very pedestrian. And this game, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So like
10 for 5.
Yeah, no,
10 for 6.
10 for 6, exactly.
Yeah,
not great.
So not amazing. Like
it's
fine. You win a couple games that way.
It's actually bad.
But does it worry you though that Louis Bijan has 16 TDs and the rest of his receiving core has 15?
Yes, the main issue, I brought it to his attention. He blew me off because he knows more than everyone.
Hold on, let's just.
Who, Lewis or Marc-André?
Let's say he ignored you. That's a better term to use.
Oh, the same way he ignored you.
No,
exactly.
I was done when you refused your lift.
Yeah, just when I left back to the city.
No, but so like
he enjoys the.
I'd rather take an hour. I'd rather take an hour longer to get home than spend 15 minutes of whole car.
Yeah.
I sympathize.
He enjoys the longue public transportation.
It's the funniest thing.
So the thing is like, with regards to Marc-André is like, I told him you're gonna face teams that will commit to taking away Louis Bijan.
Of course.
And
if you look at the stats,
the next guy on the team who's putting up any numbers is François Martin, who could be manned with a sack of potatoes. So,
but they have other guys.
A concrete slab.
No, but and the thing is, like Alexandre Joubeville he plays in our team Division C.
Yeah.
He's a valuable player. Philippe Olsan, very good player as well.
Philip's a much better player than people give him credit for.
Absolutely.
I saw him play in Division D this week, and man, oh man, was he blowing guys out of the water.
Yeah. So like, there's a handful of guys who I think if the offense was more spread out, and if he didn't listen to the whining and complaining of Louis Bijan in the huddle, this would be a more effective offense. And we like, I feel like when the wheels start to come off, he tries to focus to get the ball to the guy he trusts, Louis Bijan. But the problem is that it's not going to work. That won't work in playoffs.
I think that
if you do that, that's one and done.
I think that's one of the sort of things that worked for them last season. Is when he needed big plays, he went to Lewis for big plays, and this is what made him a successful quarterback. So now that he's playing quarterback again in different Division E is a bit higher than Division 6, but the concept remains the same. Where if he's in trouble, he goes back to his go-to. But now,
by the way, and look, is going to win a couple of matchups too. But there's going to be teams that bracket him high and low and force you to make a perfect throw to him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it worked for a while.
Nation does not have that ability to throw that ball into a tight window.
No, and look, he's got a good arm. And he calls the right plays and he reads incredibly well. But like throwing with arc, throwing with touch, it's something that takes time to learn to learn which ball to which window. You know.
Mm-hmm. The game that I saw was Ducks against Krakens.
Yes, sir.
And
how do you keep watching Krakens?
They're always on my field. And the douchebag of the week, Helder Santos Vieira had a good game, 2 sacks, by the way. But here's the big play of the day, though.
Wait, is he returning douchebag of the week?
No.
No, because I got one for Div 6.
So Daniel Santos Vieira was the quarterback for them.
Man, okay, that guy's fast.
He is. But
every time I turn around, he's blazing past defenders. Like, Mokan, who's this guy?
56 yards rushing. But here's the thing, though, okay? So there was a play which involves our very own GM in the producer's role.
Oh.
So GM's playing on field 3. This game's on field 2.
I'm glad I heard footsteps.
So Daniel's running down the sidelines. He veers off into the sidelines. And obviously the curtain, you can't see who's coming, right? GM's walking. GM's athletic. He's tough as nails. All of a sudden I see Daniel Santos Vieira on the ground. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Who knocked him over? And I see GM, without being flustered, shoulder through the curtain, knocked him over.
So what you're saying is Helder Santos Vieira soft.
Yeah, he is. Without Jim knowing, like
Well-
it was like nothing happened. Jim kept on walking. He's like, oh,
There's two
whatever.
ways to see this. Either he's soft, or he's a very nice guy and took the hit. Because there's two ways. But man, honestly, when I looked around the Kraken, this guy was making that rusher look bad the entire night. He struggled against the rusher, but every time he would take off,
Mm-hmm.
that guy's fast, man.
But here's the thing. I think Ducks, Matthew Dumont. Another. Oh, here's another classic play from Matthew Dumont. So you ready for this one here, guys?
Oh, this was great.
So
If this is the one
Dumont's
I'm
on
thinking about.
offense, quarterback. He's flush out of the pocket. He goes over the line of scrimmage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Circles around like a 180.
Realizes he's past the line,
Yeah.
so decides to come back.
Circle around and throw a pass.
Thus making it more obvious that he passed the line.
Yeah, like he did like a cylinder like this. That's what he did. He did a full circle and then he threw the ball.
Yeah.
But I think Ducks still have some issues here.
I think so too. They're not there yet,
No,
but there's something there.
they have potential, but you can't allow the Ducks to hang around like they did.
They played well for most of the game.
Yeah.
And their offense is finally there, I'd say. They have so many snappers on this team, man.
Yeah.
They're just
They're
taking all the
loaded.
snappers.
That was the strategy, though. If we take all the snappers,
There's
who's going to
shortage.
snap in Divi?
Shortage of snappers.
They're just grabbing all. They had a.
Wasn't that your
Yeah, a
strategy
friend of
in one-
mine.
No, but
Oh.
in one of the staff games, one of the
Yeah,
FPL
I
staff
took,
games,
yeah, because
you
there's only
drafted
like
me and
three.
Terry Tab, and
Like,
like,
I'll take all the snappers. But they had a higher division player come to play for them because they were missing guys.
Mhm.
And the guy that subbed for them was my former snapper because they didn't have enough snappers apparently. So
Okay.
let's take all the snappers.
Yeah.
And Dejan was playing for them.
Yeah,
The,
Anthony Dejan.
So, Moo Guardians beating Zone 6 Ballers 38-25.
Convincing.
I'm confused about what's going on with Zone 6 Ballers, and
Why?
like they don't seem to be fully committed to James Lee Valbernard. And like I thought that the thing is like Guardians.
3 INTs, man. That's a lot.
Yeah, but they're see like that's what confuses me is because like Guardians offense is a monument to efficiency. It's
Mhm.
like eating on the bowl. It's monument to efficiency.
Okay.
But
I didn't know that reference, but go on.
wait, look, he goes in, he goes out, same time. But
Okay.
the thing is with you know their defense is not necessarily
It's not bad.
incredible. It's a fine defense, good defense. But like, I didn't see them winning a game this way where they just pick apart the Zone 6 Ballers offense. So I'm like the
But it's not
offense
what
has
they
looked
do,
worse
though.
and worse and worse.
But it's not what they do.
That's what I'm saying. So I didn't expect it to be this. And I just don't understand what's going on with Zone 6 Ballers at this point in the season. Gentlemen, maybe you can weigh in.
Mo?
I saw Zone 6 Ballers play. I believe it was last week in Saint Laurent, and they had back quarterback running the show for them, and they ended up winning by like 45 million points. But you're right. I think for their quarterback position, I think they're quick trigger and yanking whoever's the number one guy.
But is that the case, or is there multiple guys that want to play the position?
Yeah,
and
but
they
you
sort
can't-
of
My thing
have
is
to-
that their best receiver by far is Alessandro Barazzoni, and if you have him throwing, he can't throw it himself.
Yes.
So that said,
Well, you could, but
Alessandro
it's very,
Barazzoni, Peeze Nation, give me a call.
oh, I mean, you could, but it's very douchey to throw yourself.
Yeah.
It also
Although-
counts as a run. so-
Although we saw that this week in an FPF game.
yes,
Was it Division?
it was the Mario Mastriotto move where he threw, the guy batted it down, caught it, ran to the end zone for a touchdown.
But that wasn't Division E, right?
D.
D. Oh yeah. So we'll touch on it next podcast. Yeah. So that's the last game I want to bring.
That
up.
was all hooks, right? Not all hooks. It was against the Brotherhood, whoever the Brotherhood played. It was
Yes.
Moss City.
Yeah,
Oh
but
yes, that was another controversial game as well. We'll talk to you about.
a game I watched some of. Easy win against the Rex. Now, the Rex have been on a roll, sort of. They've been a 2-game winning streak. Easy W takes them down fairly easily.
Mm-hmm.
Is this another case of Easy W beating on lower ranked teams?
Well, look, they have 5 wins, right?
Yeah.
So the quality wins is definitely going to be factored into their whole assessment if they're E1, E2 playoff team. But
But-
I think they're right now on the bubble of being an E1 team.
They've had some tougher matchups, and when they play teams that we consider E1, they struggle. But when they play against teams that we, let's say, consider E2, it looks too easy.
But but was like so like they played one of the worst teams in D1 and in E2. Sorry, the Genosaurus.
Well,
Rex.
they're getting there. They're getting better.
Yes, but they're still at the moment one of the
Yes.
worst teams in the division. So, are you surprised that the game was as close as it was?
Well, it wasn't close.
37-24. They allowed 24
Is-
points.
Yes, the allowed 24 points is confusing to me. But-
go ahead, Simon.
But the score remains like they're up by 13. They won by 2 scores, which they led the game most of the time by 2 scores. So it was never close, but they did allow 24 points. But they dropped 37 on them, right? Like
On a blow of 3-5 team, that's going to probably be like a number 13 seed in the playoffs.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. This isn't a case of them beating on lower ranked teams.
Well, look,
It's like an easy win, whatever, through their name, and then when they'll play tougher competition,
Which they
they'll crack
won't.
again.
their remaining strength of schedule that they have is 5 wins, 9 losses, and 1 tie. They got Sandbaggers and Bulldogs coming up.
Yeah. Well, Bulldogs is a good team.
And Sandbaggers, they don't have the wins that show it, but they're better than they look. Better than the record states.
And they're holding the 16th spot right now in the
Yeah.
E2 playoffs, which will probably be theirs to lose unless Lemons, who, by the way, no-show their game.
Hey,
the other day.
you're
Douche of the week, Lemons.
Hold on, take the trophy, please.
Here we go, Lemons. If you're watching, which I mean, since
Probably
you don't go to your
not.
games,
I'm
doubt
assuming
it.
not.
Probably
But
not.
this one goes to you guys. Douche of the week.
Can you say why? You
It,
don't know.
well, I
They
won't go-
no-show their game.
Yeah, I won't go into
Twice
too much
now.
detail.
In
This is
Two games.
the second time they forfeit. This time they didn't let the opponents know.
Yes.
So it's double douche.
Yeah, that's
They
not.
double down
But
on the
here's
douche.
a question
That's-
for you,
that's
gentlemen. And obviously, this is for league to look at. But if you have a repeat offender in the same season not show up to the game, should they not lose by 120 points then?
I think.
Does
I
it
think
matter
we-
at this point?
So this
I
is
know,
something we've
but-
discussed, and I don't know if it's going to be enacted or not. I believe it may be. The fees will be going up by a deposit of $100, and if you have a forfeit on your
The-
schedule,
Beers on them.
you
you
lose.
forfeit the deposit.
Yeah, and you've
da-da-da.
paid 4 beers from me and Simon
Yes.
during the finals. Not even making it up. That's what happens because you know who shows up to the games? Me and Simon.
All the time.
Yeah.
All right, John.
Seriously, like honestly, like if you can't find people, find people. Even if you're gonna forfeit, find 3-4 people at the field. and
Or
just play the game.
put a message on the Facebook wall.
Do anything.
Grab guys, even if their rating doesn't fit, show up, play, and then you'll lose, but at least you get
This
to
team-
play.
They've foregone $400 or thereabouts.
In theory, yeah, depending on
In theory.
players.
On
Yeah.
top of the 400 that the other teams.
Yeah. So like you've cost $800 of lost time
to
essentially.
people.
To people, not the league, to the people who've already paid this
Yeah.
money.
The league's
crazy.
okay because the league's been paid,
Yeah.
right? So it's just the players involved who invested.
It sucks, man. You wouldn't want that to happen to you. Don't do it to other people.
And the words of J-Rock could happen to you because it happened to me.
Looking ahead
Thank you
now,
for that.
gentlemen. I know we don't have the updated strength of schedule standings that Eagle always do.
I
He's
swear
in-
to God, he's been the worst.
Sorry, guys.
We're thirds.
Anyway, look, right now, I think there's probably 5 spots that could be in the E1 standings.
I
that will
got
drop.
4.
I got 5.
I got 4.
So who's
See,
your
to
fifth?
be honest, I feel like you guys are wrong about this.
We
Should I
could
go
be.
first?
Well, yeah, go.
Loyal's finest, Dude, where's the end zone? XD, A-Side, Zhangyi would all drop into E2.
Yes.
And the 5 that would go up, Los Avocados, Underdogs, Guardians, One Speed Power. And I've been flipping on this with Zone 6 Ballers because I want to see what they do their last 2 games here. But number 1, I think those 2 teams would
Number
be
1.
would be the one, no pun intended, that would be promoted
See-
up.
Provided that number 1 keep one snapper in the game.
Yes. Yes.
So, no, keep one snapper.
Yeah.
So, I agree with True Mokan for everybody that goes down, but I disagree with Zone 6 Ballers / number 1 for now. As
Who
I
do you
don't.
have?
I have the same Avocados, Underdogs, Guardian, and One Speed Power. I think they're all E1 bound.
Well, you guys don't see Savages in EasyW?
Yes, but no.
But
Why?
as you
I
said
think-
right now,
why not?
EW strength
'Cause I-
schedule is pretty.
I think with
anemic.
the rest of the way, with their next 2 games are going to be a bigger factor. Like Savages are a very strong team,
Mm-hmm.
right? With their next 2 games, if they keep playing the way they played, let's say this week when they won 48, 46, nothing.
Yeah.
If they keep playing the same way, then yes, they're E1 bound. But for now, as of today, if the season ended today, they would probably be the favorite to win E2.
But why? Because like I'm looking at them, right?
Yes.
They played a fairly close game.
Who did they lose to?
Savages.
They lost to Avocados and Guardians.
Okay.
Which is
They
the top
beat
two teams.
EZW,
Okay.
who we consider to be a strong team.
Yes.
They beat Amateur de Sac.
B1 Speed Power.
They beat One Speed Power.
But wasn't that the game where you guys were missing guys?
We were missing Willpower
Your
and
quarterback.
they scored on the last play of the game.
Okay.
But still, whatever. Like it's like the rest of the team is not a bad team.
So they
right?
lost.
Like,
Their losses came to teams that we consider should be in E1, but they
but they also
all,
beat a team that should be in.
They
E1.
beat all the teams that we think should be in E2.
But they beat a team that
They're
should be in
3
E1.
and
That's
1.
why. That's why I found they're on the bubble. For
But
now.
they beat a
Well,
team that should be
here's
in
the thing
E1.
though, right?
The thing you're
Who?
ignoring, One Speed Power.
They're
Well, you without their quarterback.
Okay, but like
but they're
We
3
both
and 1.
know that counts.
Here-
for
here's
things.
stat for you boys.
You
They're-
put it. Is that the game you put in Alex on that as a quarterback?
Yeah.
We never played quarterback in
Yeah.
FPF,
but
and you kept it close.
if the page will load, I'll tell you.
They're
his
3
thing
and
is
1. though.
Alex Noel actually played ridiculously well in that game.
They're 3 and 1 in games decided by 6 points or less so
Yeah.
far, which
What-
is a good thing or is it a bad thing in your mind?
I think it's a good thing. What's the remaining schedule?
Yeah,
Who
so
they're
so in
playing next
that
against?
game, sorry guys to cut you off. In that game, Alexander Noel was 25 of 31, 149 yards, 4 touchdowns,
Okay, but is he
Plus-
better than Willpower?
They got Brewers.
plus 24 yards on the ground. Like it's what Will would have put up.
Okay.
They got Brewers and Underdogs coming up here, and Brewers are coming off the easy win over Lemons.
So Brewers, okay, but if they beat Underdogs, then they're definitely E1 team.
But then you bring underdogs in.
Yeah, Underdogs, in my opinion, are already E1 bound.
So no matter what happens,
If they lose,
I think so, unless
I
Underdogs
think
have,
even if
like-
they lose, unless they lose like 48-0, then maybe we could switch them positions.
because underdogs now have number 1 and Savage left, which is probably one of the hardest remaining schedules.
Well, we don't know because the strength analyzer is not up.
It-
But-
I can tell you because number 1's 5 and 3.
Yeah, no. But to me, in my personal opinion, if
What's the
Savages
show?
destroys Underdogs, like 50-0, then Savages should take their spot in E1.
Mhm.
If the game's close, it's testament to how good Savages is.
And what if
If they lose by 3 scores, and so they would technically have lost to all the E1 teams they've played, they should remain in E2. That's the way I see it. I
a
could be
higher
wrong.
end E2 team.
And I mean, I'm not the only guy on the committee,
Yeah.
so
I would think they need to have some convincing wins, not just as Simone elaborated before. They have to be
'Cause-
convincing where they have style points go their way.
Because my view has been at the top of E1, Los Bandidos, the U, Fighting Flamingos, Clinkers, Glow Gang, Rancers are all very good. But I feel like the rest down, there's not a lot of difference between them and E2.
I agree. But then, could you see Savages beat Glow Gang?
No, not but they're not necessarily the favorite if they come in.
No, I agree.
Like
but
Savage is one of those teams that's going to be matchup dependent. All of the teams in
but
E2
they're most
moving up
likely.
will all be matchup dependent.
But they'll most if Savages move up, they'll most likely be one of the bottom seeds in
Well,
E1.
See,
Right?
like, the question is,
I don't
right? Like,
No, but
I don't know whether BC.
that's what I'm saying. Most likely.
I think they'd be middle sandwich though.
Yeah, because again,
Yeah.
because they're better than most of the teams in the middle, which is
Okay.
E1 to me is very very top heavy. Because then like Ducks, they're
Oh,
like,
that could be a
guarantee
game.
E1. No, but are they guaranteed an E1 team? Broken ankles.
I
Like,
think
why
so.
broken
They're
ankles?
in the bubble right now. In
But
my
like,
books, they're in the
but
bubble.
like, how are broken ankles better than Savages? Better than Orsa? Better than number 1? Better than Zone 6 ballers if they figure out the weirdness?
But you say they're top heavy, right? But if you look at E1, the bottom is Jean Guy, A side XD, and Dude.
Okay,
was
the
end
bottom,
zone.
the bottom we're not disagreeing. The top we're not disagreeing.
Yeah.
Right? I'm saying to me,
for the playoff
like
standings.
I think you can move a whole chunk of the middle of E1 down, and they wouldn't dominate the E2 playoffs. There would
I-
be upsets.
I agree with you. I think both divisions are sort of top heavy too, because the
I would disagree. I think there's more parity. Well, so the top 4 teams, let's say, in E2, yes, are very strong.
There's more balance in E2.
But the rest of the way down, it's more balanced until you get to the bottom 4 or 5. But the middle pack in the E2 is more competitive than the middle pack.
Okay,
Okay.
here's a question
In
for you
E1.
boys then. In the E1 side of things,
Mhm.
if we hold serve with Glow Gang, the U, Clinkers, Los Bandidos, Rancers, all in the top 5 spots.
Yeah.
Right now.
But Steve, why do they get an automatic spot
well,
over
we're-
Guardians, let's say?
Well, that's it. We're saying
Oh,
assuming.
that doesn't mean they'll be higher ranked. We're just saying
Okay,
they're going to
sorry,
stick in
I
E1.
misunderstood. I misunderstood.
Right. So, which team right now is the most vulnerable to lose early in the playoffs?
Of the top 5?
Yeah, Glow Gang, the U, Clinkers, Los Bandidos, Rancers. Those 5 teams right now that you think could lose early in the playoffs.
Two of them. Clinkers, if they keep doing what they're doing.
Okay.
Clinkers right now
I agree with
are
that.
built like a one and done team. because the second the game doesn't go the way they want it to, and they can scheme away what Marc-André Desaulniers is doing, and he has 2 more weeks to practice going to other guys. Until that's what's going to cost them. That's what's going to cost him this season, and it's going to be a lost season. He's going to kick himself all off season.
Well, he's going to do the Donkey Kong
Oh, he did a pretty good one this week too.
It was a good one, yeah.
He did a pretty good one this week too.
But then the other one I think is Rancers,
You think so?
just because there's games where they just don't score. You
Yeah,
know,
so
and there's games where they do. So like it just
Yeah.
seems like if they're when they're sharp, they're amazing, and then there's games where they're pretty good.
so we've talked about Rancers 2 weeks ago, I think, when we saw them at after we saw them rostered.
Do.
They have a bunch of guys on the team that are very talented and can
Mhm.
really take games away. They by themselves, they could turn their game around. I truly believe the problem with Rancers is their quarterback is probably their biggest weakness at the moment.
Jeremy Ledoux.
But he has good games. He plays well at times.
Mhm.
And there's games where you see him play and he makes the receivers look great. And I mean, to make receivers look great, you need to be a decent quarterback. You can't.
Yeah.
It goes hand to hand. The problem is there's games where he doesn't look the part, and
Mhm.
that's when they put up no points.
You know what
Yeah.
the next game is for them? Who the next game is against?
Offhand, I don't.
Clinkers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hey, that's
Monday and Papineau.
You see-
And that's a big one because in my books, whoever wins that game, I think, will probably cement themselves as probably a top 3
So, well,
seed.
let's say a team Clinkers already has
But
6
see,
wins, but let's say like a team like Bruins or Vultures or Pension Plan. Well, Pension Plan's a specific scenario too, but let's say like teams that are now 5 and
Three?
2 or 5 and 3. Some teams haven't played yet.
they're playing now.
Should we call up
So-
Stefano?
So what if they fall down to? How do you guys gauge 5?
I
and 5
barely
teams?
have the stream going as is. It's cut out like twice, and I've
Oh,
started
man,
up
this
again. So,
podcast is going to be over like in 5 minutes.
well, at least the local recording will be great, so that when this uploads to YouTube, no one will have known how bad a disaster this was.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
So
How about the tube?
how do you guys consider teams that are 5 and 5 in E1 versus teams like Orsa that may finish 7 and 3, a team like number 1 that may finish 7 and 3?
Again, I
There's
think
almost
it
6 ballers
comes
and-
down to who you played rather than your straight up record.
100%.
A 7-3 team who played
Like number
6
number
games
one,
against
number
teams
one
that
have
they make
have,
the
have
playoffs.
have some bad things against them. They've lost to the only good teams they played against, and
Yeah.
they played the easiest schedule
So
in FPF
considering that,
in Division E.
if all your wins came to teams that are, let's say, ranked below
Mhm.
10th seed, and you lost everybody above that against a team that's 5 and 5, that a bit across the board, they got an upset or two. They lost a few games that they shouldn't have.
But it's like I feel like you guys are artificially inflating E1, supposing that E1's
no.
better
No,
when we don't know that that's
no,
the case.
I'm talking about seeding,
Seeding
right
versus-
now. Like if you plus playoff standings,
I understand, but like because you beat 5 E1 teams, it's not necessarily more valuable than beating 72 teams.
no, that's exactly what I'm saying. If
Okay.
you're 7-3, and you only beat teams like Lemons,
Then
that
no,
means
your
not,
value goes
that means
down.
nothing. Whereas if you're 5 and
Fair.
5 in E2 and you've beat Guardians, for instance, but
Mhm.
you lost to
One
What-
speed power by like 1.
and you lost to 1 speed power, but then you beat Okart, but then you lose to Los Avocados. Like it doesn't mean that it's a bad team. It's a better team because were able to beat some of the tougher teams on the
Mhm.
schedule. Whereas if you always lose to top seeds and you always beat the lower seed, sort of like easy win. That's why they're not E1 in my opinion at the moment. It's because they beat everybody below them, but they lose to everybody above them.
Because one of the teams I want to bring that I've been bringing up in the past little while is Orsa. They lost to week 1, which again,
Yes,
week
it
1
happens.
doesn't matter. The other 2 losses came to 1 speed power and number 1, but then they beat underdogs and they beat average Joes, 2
Yeah.
solid middle
So it's
of the pack
good.
teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so, like I don't know if they're 7-3. I'm not sure if I'm
But
comfortable
I
seeing
think
them.
I think it
anymore.
also is
And you too,
predicated
sorry.
on this though. We talk about the branching of your wins.
They do have lemons next though.
Like for
Nice.
example, Average Joe's, you brought up them, right? They
Yeah.
are 4 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
If they go on a run to win the next 2 games, finish 6 and 4, and they blow out teams by 85 million points per game, it makes that win more viable for Warsaw, right? Because
yeah.
you're going to say, well, hey, we beat a team that is blowing everyone else out, but we beat this team by X amount of points.
I also think that the week 7, 8, 9, 10 games are more important than the week 1, 2.
Why?
No,
'Cause
you can't.
that doesn't make sense.
You can't
No,
devalue
be-
weeks
no, it
1
doesn't
through
devalue.
4.
If the best game on the schedule is week 2,
Yeah, it's not
and
like
that's a statement win
Yeah,
for
but
you.
then
It's
you,
like in college
but you
football,
don't
right?
know that though.
It's like in college football. You can't say, well, like
But-
Alabama played Florida State week 1, and
No, no,
Florida
no.
State doesn't
You
go
can't
on.
control when
we,
you play.
we both know
teams.
that if you're playing the week 1 game, there's a lot of things that come into week
My
1.
thing is, I'll give teams credit for a week 1 win, although I won't necessarily hammer them for a week 1 loss
yes.
because there's a lot of things that go into week 1.
Yes.
But that said, again, like if you look at, I don't know, I don't have an example on hand, but if your big statement win, let's say for example it would have been Avocados Guardians, there's a game that we were building up for weeks and weeks and weeks. Guardians won, but let's say that would happen in week 2. I don't take anything away from that. We know that
No.
at this point they're the 2 best teams in the division,
But
and
what I'm-
one of them won.
But if that same game happens in week 10,
Irrelevant, same thing.
I disagree.
You're wrong then. You're just
Cool.
not as intelligent as the rest of us.
Cool. Says
Because-
who? Says you?
No, because you can't control. Like,
Of course not.
So then why
You
would it be
don't
more
control your
valuable?
schedule, but we both know that every team plays better by
Not
week 10
necessarily.
than
What if
they
you
do
already
in week 2.
clinched? We don't care.
Yeah, but
That's why I said 7, 8, 9, 10. Is everybody plays better in the second half
But
of the
Not
Not
season?
necessarily.
necessarily.
What if one of those
You
games you're
can't.
missing people? What
Yeah.
if you're better than that team and then you just happen to play them week 4?
Because you can't devalue.
And you're just better across
Yeah,
the
but
board.
week 4 is not week 1.
Or,
But again, you
Fine,
can't.
but week 4 to me,
devalue.
week
Week
10
1,
is the
you
same.
make week 1, you can make mistakes just because you
So
haven't played
that's fine. Week
football
1
in
again.
6
Week
months.
1 I can understand. And again, I'm talking about the losing side. The winning side of it, I don't really see a difference.
It
'Cause
depends. If
won,
you
then
win 7-6 or 8-6 on a walk-off safety
depending.
in week 1,
But that means your defense is amazing.
your defense was great, or the other offense sucked.
Yeah, I mean, although
Yeah,
it's
but
6
that,
points.
if you beat a team 8-6 and that team that lost to you by 2 points ends up scoring 100+ points per game afterwards, well, that's an
Yes,
impressive victory. in my
but
book.
if they haven't put up, big numbers
But
afterwards,
that's
But that's
why
a week
it's-
1
yeah, but
scenario
but-
that he's describing.
But what I'm saying though, right, that week 1 team that you beat, if they go on to be impressive, then they go 6-4.
Yeah.
But they are winning games by 30+ points.
Yeah.
It values that victory becomes even more
or
important.
it's a week 1 fluke where they weren't on point, the guys weren't showing up,
Either way,
everybody
to
was
me-
ready.
to me,
It could be a bunch of things, right?
Week
Like,
4 and week 10 don't matter because the opponent you may have on week 10 may be trash.
yes.
The opponent you have on week 4 might be amazing.
yes.
And if you beat that team who's amazing, that should mean more than when you played your game. Otherwise, you know what? Let's put more value on Wednesday games.
All right, so
They mean more than Sunday games.
I mean, it's a better time slot.
Get
fair
out of
enough
here.
then.
F
So
word.
It's a better time
right
slot.
now, Peeze, who needs an impressive win going to week 9? As he looks in this phone to buy time.
You buy time, Mo. You filibuster.
To me,
yeah.
one of the big games this week is Green Means go against Loyola's Finest. If Green Means go is able to win, they could jump into the playoffs again, be able to put stocks into their own
3-2
team.
at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's a week 8 game, it's more valuable.
Yes.
of
So
course,
Week 9,
yes.
actually. Even
Whatever.
more.
Even more, obviously, because 9 means more than 8.
But if there's another team that, like the question says, who could stand out from a win? To me, it's number 1. Like if the more they're able to beat teams that are not bottom feeders,
Mhm.
the more stock it puts into the team. The
But
more they stand out.
The
right?
problem is, I feel like number 1 is like built to play for the E2 playoffs. And then, like,
Maybe.
they may win out. And, like, all right, well, that's an impressive ending. You win playoffs, and
Or
it's
maybe,
going to be tough.
or
for
maybe
them.
they'll listen to this podcast and lose on purpose.
That's what
to be an
we
E2.
didn't
If they can
consider-
listen to this podcast
Yes.
at all.
Probably 2 weeks time they will.
We didn't-
Wow, these guys call us out week 8.
We didn't.
Playoffs.
We didn't consider, by the way, tanking as
Yes,
as a,
it's obviously a factor.
yeah. Let's hope it's
But,
not.
but we'll be there. So
But we'll
see
call you
it.
out. We'll
By
call
the
you out.
way,
We'll call you
if you
douches of
can
the week.
see, I'm just watching GM right now, and the stress level in GM's face says it all, man. Like, he
Stress
is
eating
so
those
annoyed.
donuts.
GM's got that, and for those who follow baseball, who are baseball historians, Dave Stewart, former Oakland A's pitcher great, would always have the stare, like when he pitches from the mound. And right now, Jim has that Dave Stewart look going on right now, that evil eye look.
I just can't wait for this to have a break between the two, between E and D, and I can figure out what's going
He
wrong
got some
and
frosting
fix
lips
it.
too, by the
E's
way.
and D's.
Cool. No one can see it.
I'm just letting you know.
E's and D's.
He's so annoyed right now, GM.
I have a game. I have a game that I think is interesting
Okay.
as an interesting measuring stick for both of these teams.
Who's this?
Glow Gang and Bruins. So if Bruins are able to win this game, I think it really
Yes.
It
serves as a
ruins their
statement.
undefeated year for Glow Gang as well.
Yeah,
right?
and like,
So-
and I think Bruins are a team that this might be a trap game for Glow Gang, although the youth and speed is just difficult for anyone to match up against.
I agree with you that I could see how Bruins could be able to slow the game down and
Mhm.
score
The Wiseman effect.
the slow well. They'll be able
Yeah.
to slow the game down enough to make it close just by possessions alone and be able to score more than people would expect them to.
And
The
I think
problem is-
Antoine Hayan is one of the only rushers in the division who can run with Arnaud Desjardins.
Yeah, but the problem is Glow Gang can score
Whenever they
on
want.
every play.
Yeah.
And if they do that, regardless of how much you slow down the game offensively,
But if you
If
slow
they-
it down, to 5 possessions per team, and
but
you
can't-
win on
Yeah,
converts.
but you can't do that if they score on one play every time.
Oh, my friend, you've never seen Gabriel Wiseman play quarterback.
Oh,
It takes so long.
I know,
he's
but
like Alex Smith.
I know, but you still need to like.
It's like when you play defense against him, you don't even feel like you did cardio.
But like, if Arnaud finishes 5 for 6 for 5 touchdowns and 200 yards,
But then Gabriel Wiseman going 24 for 29 with 5 touchdowns.
And it still wins the game like 10 points. Go figure.
But yeah, so I
One
think
more team here. Another team needs a big time victory this weekend. So
well, so like
so like,
as Peeze tries to buy time with his.
well, no, because I like I like the game, but we already know where both teams will fall anyway.
go on. Just who? I'm curious now.
Well, to me, like game of the week, Division E is Los Avocados 1-2 Power.
Fair.
We'll get an idea of who these teams are.
But see, that's another one.
But I think
Right?
they'll play up to the competition. Los Avocados.
No, but that's a good state.
Or
Like,
down because we're old and slow.
I know, but they'll play
Well,
up
not
'cause
everybody's
it's
old.
a superior record they're going up against.
no,
right
but
now.
this is interesting. If Los Avocados loses this game 59-0,
They won't.
they won't. But let's say, for argument's sake, does that devalue their E1 status?
Well, not necessarily because if
No,
you're already saying, let's say, 1-2 Power is an E1 team.
Yeah, but 59-0, like a pure
But again,
beatdown.
so like that's the thing is like I don't personally weigh plus minus or the point differential at all because A, you could have a bad game. B, some teams are more apt to blow teams out than other teams. It's again the pension plan argument. Pension plan will never blow a team out.
Yeah, but
No.
But they're still one of the best teams in the conference.
Yes, agreed.
And like now with
Adama
Adama
Luka.
Luka, I don't know that they're worse. You know what I mean?
They're
they're
steady.
they're different but the same.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
you know.
steady.
They're different but the same. But I still think that two top teams playing each other, if the game's close, whoever wins
I mean, look,
sort of builds stock for each other.
Yeah.
But if one team's really better than the other, to me that's tough to say that both teams are on the same level.
All right, let's go to week of the games with the disgruntled producer and GM.
Oh God, I'm glad I actually have them up right now. That's the
before
point
you
we're
do
at
that,
right now.
GM, you look like a guy who's just started a new job and is overwhelming you day one.
A guy who has just started a new job had no prep from his boss before him.
Didn't even have the password to the computer.
Yeah, I didn't even have the password to the, and is about to be found out by everyone at the company that he is grossly unqualified for what he was hired to do.
So
And that
GM,
they should have
Well,
hired
you're-
Chapman.
You're overqualified for games of the week, so here we go.
So the one thing though, GM, if you try to unionize, we will fire you.
Cool. So we talked about it before. Loyola's finest against Green Means Go.
Green means go.
So let me do the thing where Green Means go old, and but their offense is improving. Guys are starting to adapt to catching the heaters that Sean Wardowski throws against Loyola's finest,
I
who've
was
been
about
up
to
and down
say,
all season.
what do you guys think of the quarterback change to Dave Allen?
Oh, they've actually made the change officially. I thought it was a 1 week.
The last few games have been Dave Allen.
Okay,
so
I thought it was temporary.
assuming that they continue along this path.
And so if they do that, I like Dave Allen as a football mind. He beat me in an FPF Junior Championship game as a coach. Although the players did the work, so it's neither of us won or lost
Bunch
the
of
game.
Eagles lost for easy.
But I will say, without any shame, he 100% outcoached me in the game, which is very difficult to do for someone who spends a ridiculous amount of time on preparation. But he was far more prepared than the guy who didn't sleep for 4 days. So good on him.
All right, Green means go. Who you got, Simo?
Give me Green Means Go because it means more to them.
Next.
Average
You're-
Joe's
you're
Bulldogs.
disgusting. Average Joe's sort of evening off after they had such a hot start to the season, going up against
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. Fast, exciting, young, cocky, annoying.
Joe's.
Give me the Dogs.
Next.
XD Tropic Thunder.
XD has
Easy.
been one of the teams that have not lived up to expectation. Meanwhile, Tropic Thunder have been the exact expectation. Unfortunately, the expectations were low. Last week, no quarterback. Tyler Grondin, by the way, injured ankle, hurt for the
Yee.
season.
Sorry.
Get well soon, buddy.
Yeah.
Ankles are the worst. I believe Noah Lachance will be throwing in this game, however.
The
I think
12-year-old
not,
kid?
actually.
No?
The H factor.
He's already thrown for...
I know, but it's been discussed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because he's 14, you need to be 16 to be thrown in
Yeah,
the
you
league.
Sheesh.
can't play in this league.
Hashtag sheesh.
Like he's not
Yeah.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Guys, it's a liability.
Yeah. Give me XD to win. But hey, by the way, guess who's on the team? Sean Collins. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All
On
right.
XD or on what team?
Tropic Thunder.
Oh.
Maybe he'll throw.
Give me XD.
Next, last game.
Last game, Sandbaggers Easy W.
Easy W.
Yeah, easy W.
All right, I won't do the thing.
No.
All right.
We cut you off.
Magic words, please.
Hold me close now, Tony Danza.
Good night, Columbia.
Oh.
Oh.